This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
That's like saying, well, I shouldn't get a seatbelt ticket because when I took driver's ed, there was no seatbelts to put on.
Corey Winfield.
Are you like a professional student?
Depends who you ask. It's the 17th of November, 2023, coming from the North Studio. My name is Corey Winfield, and this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Joining me in the studio once again for a fabulous Friday is Justin Burke. Justin, how are you today?
Fabulous.
Excellent. We had lunch together.
That was fabulous.
What was the name of that place?
Dre Locos Tacos.
It's kind of a new place in Traverse City.
Yeah, it took the place of Dickie's Barbecue.
Which I was a big fan of.
Yeah.
But the taco place, muy bueno.
Yeah, very good.
It's very good for people who don't understand Spanish. I didn't take Spanish in school, but I've eaten at places. So that makes me a little bit fluent in Espanol.
Let's hear more of it.
Chocolate brownie. That's what I got. For dessert, I got mi amor. No, that's not even. I got my wife a chocolate brownie and a quesadilla. So there you go.
Yeah, the quesadilla was the bomb.
Yeah, it was really good food. It was a little on the not cheap side, but hey, you get what you pay for, right?
Quality food.
Yeah.
It wasn't no Taco Bell.
No, they did not have a dollar menu there.
No.
But it was delicious. It was good, and we probably will go back.
And we even got free tacos.
Shh. Now people are thinking that we're saying it's good because we got free tacos.
No.
But you never know. Maybe that was in their plan.
Right.
No, I think they just opened or something, and somehow something got kind of misconstrued of what I ordered, because I ordered a burrito, and then here comes some tacos out, and I was like, hey, but that's not us, but if you can't find who they belong to, bring them on back.
Right.
And he did, and he was like, here you go, enjoy. And we're like, okay.
The bomb.
That'd have been pretty messed up if I just would have ate both of those tacos in front of you and just be like, yep.
You'd be rolling around your office floor right now.
Right, but see, I don't do that.
So full.
Like the old me might have done that. No, I don't think I've ever would have done that unless it had to do with like drinks or something. I would have taken 2 drinks and be like, yep, sorry, Justin, you don't get these. But no, I don't live that way anymore. And a month from 2 days ago, I'll have 5 years clean.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's an achievement.
I haven't made it there yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to. Again, never know what tomorrow brings, but you just got to do what you got to do. Keep on keeping on. And, Thanksgiving's coming up. It's right around the corner. You and I, when we had lunch, though, it's the reason why I brought up, not to plug the taco place or anything, but we were talking about everybody has daddy issues here.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not speaking for other people here, but we're just saying. Mm-hmm. And you said something that was funny. You're like, there was a bunch of guys with daddy issues trying to support each other. Or he said something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, actually we are, aren't we? And we should probably talk about that on the podcast today. Mm-hmm. So we might as well. And if you think about it, everybody has some kind of issues. But I know women sometimes, men will be like, oh, she says daddy issues. But men have daddy issues too.
Yeah, wholeheartedly.
And whether it be, abusive, physically, verbally, it's all the same. And even if they're just gone.
Right. Abandonment.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't even know the story behind why they're gone or what's going on or what's happening here, what's happening there. When you're a kid, you don't really know all those things and you don't even know how to process those things. You just know that, the man who had the best swimmers in the world who brought me into this thing kind of isn't around.
Right. Just ditched me.
And you just try to cope the best you can because, we're boys, young, growing men, and we don't have issues like that.
Yeah, we're supposed to bury those feelings.
Yeah. And next thing you know, you're doing drugs and drinking all the time. And not saying that was the reason. I mean, there's probably 100 different reasons of why I went south the way I did. But if you look at it like accepting it and realizing that I had to go through all that stuff to be where I'm at today to maybe help other people, I'm cool with that. That's how it worked out. So I'm definitely not pointing fingers at people. Oh, it's because of you or because of that. Definitely not doing that.
No.
But being in recovery, at least for me, it allows me to kind of look at the big picture of things and to control what I can control today.
Yeah, it allowed me to shed some light on my dark path. Try to figure out what deep down inside really bothered me and kept me relapsing, and just never had anyone really consistent in my life except for my mom.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You know, and you see other friends at school and them and their dads are doing stuff and you're like, yeah.
Wish I had that relationship.
Like I said, I'm not blaming nobody in my life, and I had a great stepdad, still do, but it is what it is, you know. But coming full circle, like, you know, people like you and I, and we can go back and look at those issues and address those issues, because they say that a lot of this starts with childhood trauma, and if you're too afraid to address it and you're still trying to walk through life like everything's perfect, nothing to see here, you're going to keep carrying that baggage with you. But once you learn that you can accept it and move on and take today as today,
Right.
and move on, you know, like how we move on, I have no idea. You know, that's what therapists are for. And
Exactly.
I know you wrote a really good blog the other day. I was proud of you.
I did.
I shared it on our 217 Recovery group. If you haven't read it, it's on Facebook. It's also at 217recovery.com.
It's called Change.
And it was pretty powerful stuff, man.
Yeah.
I was like, Justin didn't write this.
No, I had AI do it for me.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
I don't know.
Yeah, get.
Jeremy's assistant.
Yeah. But no, it was a really good blog, and you kind of touched on some issues, and you talked about, you know, therapy and the things that you had to do, and the situations you were put in, and you could have made bad choices, and you didn't. You know, you were like at a point where you were done with that life, and we had talked about, I think, on the last podcast, maybe, or maybe the podcast before that, where you were in jail, and you were like just fiending, and you couldn't wait to get out and get high, and then you get home and you tell your mom, well, off to get high. And she's like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's
Just flabbergasted.
breaks my heart, you know, and you're like, wait, what? Really? Okay, well, I'll go to treatment, you know,
I
but
actually left with a friend of mine, and she's like, I won't use around you. And the next thing you know, she's pulling out her meth pipe and is like, here we go. Hopefully your willpower's strong today. I'm like, yeah, I just need to go get my shoes, and you could drop me off at my brother's house on the way back.
dang,
Yeah.
some strong willpower.
Yeah.
And maybe the longer or the more you distance yourself from it, you know, I know with alcohol, for me, it seems to be that way so far. The more I put distance in myself, and the more I create a life and actually, you know, have purpose and goals and stuff, like, it makes it even further away from it. And I know people who have a lot more time than me, and they always say too, don't get too cocky, and you're just one drink away from being right back in there, you know, and I know that. I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not meaning to sound cocky, because I'm not cocky about it. I'm just saying, you know, where I'm at today is a way different place, and
Way different head place.
yeah, I have much more purpose in my life today than I had in my past. So
Me too. I'm working for a company that I said I was going to work for and got laughed at. So joke's on you.
Got your ass.
yeah, and let's tell that story again, Justin, for people. Maybe this is the first time they're listening to the podcast or something, but let's tell that story.
Oh, when you worked at a treatment center, you showed me this wonderful place I should go to called Nathan's House.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a ride there. Tried asking my mom. Nobody, no. She wouldn't come up and get me and take me. And you're like, well, I'll take you up there, Justin. So on the way up there, we conversate. You're like, oh, Charlevoix's got good meetings. There's meetings here. Here's a good therapist phone number because you really need some therapy. And then I get there, and I'm like, I'm going to do this one day for you. And you laughed at me and said one thing at a time.
Smart guy. Yeah, that's kind of how it went. Is that
Yeah.
what's your recovery story you're going to tell?
Yeah.
That would be a good part of it. That would really be a good part to tell it, like the recovery stories, Message of Hope Part 2 that we have coming up, we think, in February.
Right.
And we, of course, we just had the first one, and
And
yeah.
then when I was in sober living, you kept sending me these NMSAS trainings. Do this, do this, do this. And my life just slowly started falling together.
He was falling apart.
Falling apart. No.
I'm working for his 217 recovery.
But no, it just started coming together. You know, I moved back down here to Traverse City, got a job at the local treatment center, and then started doing rides for you shortly after that.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, is you wanted it, and I knew that you would take the trainings, and you went and did the suicide prevention stuff too, which I thought was huge for me when I took it. I think everybody should take that.
Yeah.
And it's just those little things that you can do to like move your mind forward, and you're gaining experience with it.
Yep.
You know, even with writing blogs, you know, I'll give you a hard time about your blogs sometimes, but you're still learning, and now you know how to write a blog.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, and you know how to, you know, get on the internet a little bit and play with the website without getting, oh my God, we got to talk about that. Without getting viruses on the computer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yesterday.
So here's a story, but we'll get to that story in just a second. I just want to finish about the blog thing and gaining new experiences. But that does actually move you forward in your brain. And when you're thinking, when you're doing new things, you're learning new things. So, you know, there's like recovery coach training. I tell people, you know, even when we go talk at Detox, I tell people, look, have some goals, become a recovery coach. Even if you're like, I don't want to be a recovery coach, do it. Because you have something that you're going to look forward to accomplishing. And never know.
It's only 2 weekends.
Yeah, what are you going to mess around, catch some sobriety or something? You know, What are you afraid of?
A little knowledge.
Yeah. It's free.
Whoa.
Well, up north it is. I heard in Southwest Michigan there's places that they make you pay for it.
That's dumb.
I know. I just shake my head at SWIMBA and what they don't do for other people, but whatever.
You need to find an address north of M55.
Yeah. But there's ways, even if you did have to pay for it, whatever. It's something that's moving your mind forward, and you're not spending your money on drugs or alcohol, so, you know, do it. So the story is, I was about to get into. So yesterday, I had to wait for this guy to come repair our door
How was that?
at the crib. It took him 2 seconds. I was like, so we waited here for 2 hours. Like, you couldn't have called and say, hey, I'm going to be there after 4. He was supposed to be there from 2 to 4. So I have to go home, and I'm sitting there, change cat litter, all 3 of them, all the boxes, you know. I'm like, okay, what else can I do? And I'm like doing other stupid little things and waiting. Then my wife gets home, Marnie gets home, and I'm like, dude still hasn't been here. And she's like, oh, I guess you didn't have to leave work early. And I was like, I guess not. And then Marnie finally, like 10 to 4, Marnie calls and is like, is he coming? And the lady started kind of getting snappy back. And then, 4:05, dude knocks on the door. I'm like, all right, man. So I'm not in the best mood, you know. And then the dude, seriously, something he could have probably done from outside. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. So then Marnie's like, let's go get something to eat. So I'm like, okay. So we're in the car and we're going to go get some dinner. And my phone blows up. And it's Mitchell O'Brien calling.
Our secretary?
On a FaceTime chat or something. Yeah, because he doesn't have the iPhone yet. So It was just Facebook Messenger. And I answered, and I'm like, hello. And I just hear this, like alarms going off. And I'm like, what is going on there? So why don't you explain to me what happened? Because you were sitting right next to him, I think, when this happened, correct?
Yeah, he was looking something up on the internet. Mm-hmm. He's known for looking up inappropriate things.
Yeah, he will go around, and I'm going to pause you there for a minute. And he will go around and bitch about his computer being so slow. And the internet here is so slow. And I go to your computer, I go to Adam's computer, I go to Marnie's computer, go to my phone, go to my computer, and I run the speed test, and it's like 500 megabytes per second or something, which is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then I go to his, and it's 2. And I'm like, what did you do to your computer, dude? Well, I don't know. I didn't do nothing. I'm like, okay. So then we get that fixed finally. And then, so anyway, so back to your story.
Yeah. He looks up inappropriate things, I think.
Whoa.
He turned his adult safe search off.
What?
Yeah. Pixabay has very interesting photos sometimes now on his computer.
But you don't have to turn that off. You can just click the picture and it'll be like, are you old enough? And you go, oh, of course I am.
My computer, I can't even find it. Some of the images. But anyways, next thing, he's supposedly looking up fantasy football quotes. And he clicks on a link, and next thing you know, his computer's all locked up and won't do nothing. Telling him that he needed to contact Microsoft support. It was rather funny. I sat there and laughed. I was like, what inappropriate things are you looking up now? I was like, you better call your boss and explain to him what you did. And that's when you received a phone call.
Actually, I might have the audio of this.
You better call your boss. On video chat.
On video chat, you say?
Yes.
So you kind of directed him to do the video chat of his mistake.
Yeah, so that way you can see what he was doing to company equipment.
So I get this call, and it sounds like bells and whistles and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And I'm like, what's happening? He's like, well, I was looking up fantasy football stuff, which if you read his blog, you realize he was not looking up fantasy football stuff. He was looking up fantasy.
Yes.
He just left off the football. So he might have did fantasy stuff. Mm-hmm. And I bet you would get a virus if you looked that stuff up and just started clicking on whatever you thought was some titties.
Right.
Or whatever he was clicking on.
You should see his picture. Pretty out there.
Yeah. And I mean, so there's...
I did help him design it a little bit.
When he calls, I'm like, I didn't even know we had an alarm system here, you know, because I just hear, and they're, don't close this browser. I'm like, dude, unplug the computer. No, it says not to. And it's like, of course it tells you not to because it's trying to steal your files right now. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, unplug it. You have to do that. Well, it says not to. It'll ruin everything. I'm like,
I was hoping this whole blog was going to be erased.
I sent him a GIF later, and it was like, please don't. Or what did it say? It says, downloading virus now. Please don't stop, you know, or something. I was like, there you go, dude. Is that what you were doing? And I haven't heard any complaints today.
No, not yet.
So I'm assuming that worked.
I did hear you ask him for some gift cards and take pictures of them, send them to you.
Yeah, well, it's a scam that goes on. And they target old people. Our good friend Tyrone, who does the open. I don't know if he got with this before. But
No.
he lives in a community, and there's people a lot older than him. Tyrone's really not that old. But he said this guy was like, yo, man, this person want to meet me, and they send me all these booty pictures and titties or whatever, and I want to hook up with you. But first, I need you to go buy some gift cards.
Right.
And then take a picture of them with the number and the security code, and then I'll meet you around the back later.
Waited an hour.
Yeah, and Tyrone's like, this person's not coming. And I guess the guy was getting irate. Yeah, he is. Or yeah, she is. Or whatever he was looking for. And then Tyrone said, yeah, the next day he made somebody else take him over there and wait again. Bought more gift cards. I'm like, and Tyrone's like, I'm telling him it's a scam. But he won't listen to me.
Poor guy.
Yeah, so that's what I was referring to with, Mitch. Yeah, got some gift cards.
Yeah.
Because he fell for the old virus trick. Like, oh no, don't click that. Don't close it. Whatever you do, don't exit out of this right now. I'm like, you already made a mistake by clicking something you probably weren't supposed to. And that's how they get people is they do that whole panic thing. Like, oh no, right now is the time, and you just have to realize what's going on here. Like, no, absolutely, I'll reset my computer and turn it off if I need to. Like, but some people will get so panicked and it'll tell you, don't turn it off. You're like, oh my God, okay. And it's got, like, seriously, it sounded like an alarm was going off somewhere.
Like a fire truck was going by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you doing when that actually went down? Because that was not caught on the cam.
We were talking about my blog I just wrote.
No, like when all the we like, whoa.
I was sitting right next to him.
And when that started happening, what was your thinking?
He was looking up something inappropriate. Probably trying to look up some titties or something.
Were you
Midget
thinking?
booty.
Oh, Corey's gonna love this. I think that's why. Yeah, obviously, because that's where like video chat it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Your computer strikes again.
Oh my God! And then I love how it's not his fault.
Never.
No, he's the only one that uses that computer, but it's not his fault.
Zero accountability.
Yeah, I was looking up fantasy football. I mean, what was I, what was I supposed to do, man? It's just fancy football stuff. That's why I don't do fancy football.
It's been kind of hard trying to find a 19, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
What's Claire gonna think about that, Mitch?
Whoa.
Man.
Name dropping. We do have a new meeting here on Wednesdays. I don't know what time it's going to be. It was 3:30 to 5, but I think it's moving
To 1:30.
to 1:30 on Wednesdays,
Yes.
where we have somebody who knows art.
Yep.
And there's more like an art instructor is just taking over our art group on Wednesdays. So if you're in Traverse City, feel free to stop by. It's pretty cool. I just popped in just for a second, but it seems to be one of our more popular groups. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Music and art.
feel
Yeah.
free and to check out our schedule for all of our groups. 217recovery.com is kept pretty up to date.
Needs to be updated
I know every day.
every day.
Because they do change a lot. And I know there's one guy that will always send an email like, is there still a meeting tonight? I'm like,
Yeah.
But he always asks about the ones that are always there and that have not changed. But one time, I think we went to Boyne City or something for Harvest Festival or something, and we weren't here. And he was like, freaking out about it. Sorry, dude. Sorry, whatever your name should be. And I was going to say your
Shit
name, dude.
happens.
Huh?
Says shit happens.
Yeah. I was going to say his name, but I figured that's inappropriate too. So
Yeah.
we'll just leave it alone. Yeah, so that's always fun, to get calls like that.
Mitch did include on the end of his blog. P.S. Asked Justin about the Roku remote. So if anyone wants to know more details, they can email me.
Well, let's talk about it now. He's not here.
I'll have to get all up in it.
Oh, wait, what? He is here.
Okay. So Monday or Tuesday, we were sitting around the office, joking around like a bunch of teenagers. And he picked up a Roku remote to demonstrate his manhood. And then we're having the art meeting. Someone in the art meeting says, sometimes I think my Roku's remote is my vape, and I put it up to my mouth, and it doesn't taste bad.
Fabulous.
And me and Mitch started dying laughing.
I'll have to get all up in it.
So that is the Roku remote story.
It's half of it. We'll have Mitch tell the other half
Yeah.
at a different time of his choosing.
Mm-hmm.
And we like Mitch. We give Mitch a hard time because we do like him. If we didn't like him, we wouldn't even mention him at all.
No.
No.
No. Would
Yeah,
make him
so-
do rides or something.
No. And, Adam couldn't be here today. He's got other stuff going on at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to do a podcast. And I feel bad because I'm not doing enough. Tuesday, Thursday, it's turned into just Friday. It was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it just turns into a Friday and then every other weekend or something. And I really have to do a better job of doing more. There's a lot of stuff I have to start doing better. I was talking to my doctor today, and I really need to make time for myself to do some kind of physical activity just so that my stress level can go down, because I'm stressed out a lot. And I'm trying not to show Marnie that I'm stressed out a lot. So then when she goes to bed, and then I guess some people say stress eat, then I go for the ice cream because it gives me those endorphins, and I just, it makes me feel better and happy.
With all the chocolate sauce.
Yeah, a little keyboard elf
Sprinkles.
dancing in my head. I'm like, nom, 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 nom. And I think I do that because I'm not relieving the stress in other ways. And I'm not saying that I don't ever have sex stuff, because that's cool. That happens. That's not the problem. But it's just, I need some other activities to get that out of my head. And then, of course, when you eat big old bowl of ice cream and then try to go to bed, well, naturally sugar is going to keep you up, and then it hurts my stomach anyway. So I'm like, and then I don't get enough sleep. So there's a lot of things that just walking for a half an hour a day, I think, will take care of a lot of things. And at night, I don't have to feel like I'm, okay, Marnie's asleep, and she goes to bed early, and then I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? Oh, let's go eat some ice cream, and I told my doctor today that it reminds me a lot of when I was, my drinking days. So my drinking days, right when I get home, it would be on. But that wait for someone else to go to bed, or wait till I get myself alone, then I can really tear it up, and I kind of feel like the same thing,
Yeah.
So got to change some things.
So how's your fantasy football team doing?
Doing great, man. I slaughtered the dude I played last week.
I know. Yeah. That was horrible.
Yeah. How's your team doing?
I got slaughtered last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Very
must have played you. I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's going all right. And
I just got a notification. Joe Burrow will be out for the rest of the season.
Wow.
Torn ligament in his wrist.
See, I think that's what I have.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you sure it's not carpal tunnel?
I think torn ligament, what you said.
You got to get an MRI done to find out.
Damn it. I forgot to tell my doctor that today, and my next appointment's in 2 months.
Well, you better get on your patient portal and message her.
Yeah, I will. Because seriously, I don't know if you saw how my hand just swolled up.
Mm-hmm. When we're doing all that government work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I try to loosen things or tighten things, or if I'm using a hammer even or a screwdriver, it gets real weak, and when he dropped that ball, or because they showed him on the sideline throwing the ball, but when he threw the pass and then it grabbed the stuff, I'm like, dude, that's what I do. And it shoots up my arm. And I've talked to my doctor about this, and she just kind of looks at me like, all right, dude, your list's getting a little long.
Right.
But that's something I should have looked at. But my palm will swell up and my whole hand will. And it's just crazy because I don't even have to do anything for that long. And then I can't grip anything. And it's just like,
Carpal tunnel can cause all that though too.
Ligament, bro.
Either one requires surgery.
From my baseball days back in the day.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if because when one time.
You sure it's baseball days where
it's hurting right now.
Where your alone time?
No, I'm not alone time, man. But one time I'm pulling up my right sleeve because this vein right here is impossible for people to find. And I've been to the ER many times, and they have to give me an IV, and they always try to use my right arm. And of course, when I'm intoxicated, I don't know what to tell them. Hey, other arm. And I remember one guy was in there digging. And then one time I think I was on the Vivitrol shot, and they needed to do a blood draw to check my liver to see if it was okay that I get the shot. Mm-hmm. And when they did that, this lady was her first hour on the job, I'm pretty sure. And she stuck it in, and man, it hurt like hell, and it felt like fire all the way down my arm. Just fire. And I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, it feels like my arm's on fire. And she's like, what? I ain't do nothing. And she's in there digging. And I'm like, stop, whatever you're doing. I was like, it feels like my arm's on fire. And then this other lady comes in, and she's like, I've never had that happen before. I don't know what you're talking about. But then I look it up, and she had hit my nerve. So I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Nerve damage?
I don't know. I wish we knew.
They make pills for that.
Whoa, I'm not trying to pop pills, buddy. But I am trying to figure out the source of this because, not that I look like Joe Burrow, but I look kind of like Joe Burrow. When the way you just drop the ball and he's like, I can't do it.
Then poor Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
He's out too for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
What's your wife going to do with her fantasy team?
I don't know, man. That's her team, bro.
It'll be interesting.
I guess.
Maybe she'll
Mark
find
Andrews,
a 19, 20-year-old.
Mark Andrews, she drafted Joe Burrow. Another dude in the league dropped him after a couple weeks because he wasn't doing so hot earlier in the year. So she just made more room for a bench, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. My team's looking pretty damn good, though.
Mine is too, finally.
Yeah.
Made a few trades.
Yeah.
Got a quarterback, finally.
You learn it from Winfield.
Yeah.
You get something that somebody else wants. Even if you don't want it, you get it because you'll bounce it around and you can get it back.
I had to trade a running back to Adam, and then...
You traded running back for a tight end, then you traded the tight end for the quarterback that you wanted.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same thing I did with the trade in the league too. But yeah, not to talk too much fantasy football because we should do that on Sunday mornings, but nobody ever wants to.
Not here.
But now we're doing Friday, Fabulous Friday podcast. You're talking about fantasy football.
Yeah. We just had football last night, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. That's Justin's Fabulous Football Friday Minute
Yeah.
or two. If you haven't read Justin's blog, though, I recommend you do that. I think Adam's going to have a blog soon. Mitch's blog, it's about fantasy football and how he didn't want to be in fantasy football or something.
Settled fantasy football is a lie.
Yeah. And it caused almost a crash on his computer. So
Yeah.
if you want to comment on it, and that's the cool thing too, you can comment on the blogs where you can be like, hey, Justin, I really agree with you. Or, man, I appreciate you saying that. Opening up, feel free. Or if you want to, on Mitch's, put a little virus gif on there, like he will appreciate that as well. Yeah, it's 217recovery.com. You can get there also from our app, which is free in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Thanks for listening. We're going to wrap it up. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to you before Thanksgiving.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.